Parry Talks, welcome back. Number 33. Lucky number for some, bad luck for others. I hate 33, the number 33, because it's like a third, but like it never truly it just wigs me out. But other than that, I pride myself on being Sydney's best dressed podcaster. And that's why this guest means a lot, because I would put them up there. I reckon there's not much competition compared to GAUCI on best dressed bands in Sydney, and they've come through roaring today with some absolute steez. So I've got the best dressed band in Sydney, GAUCI. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, no worries.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. It's a big title. Best dressed band.
I really should have put a bit more effort into it today.
Dude, no, the Guitar Hero steez, if you're watching, we'll take some pictures after. Oh my God, it is fresh. Who else is well dressed, do you think?
Well dressed band.
I mean, like,
I don't want to let anyone down by not saying them. Well dressed bands in Sydney.
I mean, Johnny Reebok always looks fresh.
Yeah, true.
I guess he's not a band though. It's hard as an
that's the
ensemble.
thing, yeah.
You know?
You really got to tie it all together.
Johnny Reebok, he came in with just like blanks, all this paint on his t-shirt. Like, that is hard. He's like, oh, man. Shout out to the Reebok. Yeah, that was a great episode, one for the ages. Welcome to Parry Talks. Shit question, but I just got to put it out there because we are humans. How are we going? How have we navigated 2020? Have there been any silver linings that you sort of see?
Yeah, like I think it was the first time where, because of like Job Seeker and Keeper, the government actually gave everyone a livable wage for not having to work. At least like I work a retail job in the side, so I don't get as much time as I'd like to do music. And I feel like it's kind of the same. We all work quite a bit, but because of COVID, we didn't have to work as much, or like there wasn't as much work, but we were still being paid. So there was just like mass time to just do music, like absolutely every day of the week. Even having like 3 hours a day to just do music constantly over a week is so different than trying to like fit it in between like the thing you don't really want to do for me. So that was actually like, obviously it was hard and like it was boring sometimes, but like it's been kind of fresh to just do as much music as like we possibly can. Like writing constantly every single day changes the way I feel like you approach music. You almost get better at it. It's like, I don't know, playing soccer or some shit. It's like, if you do it every single day of the week, you're actually obviously going to be better than if you only get to do it once a week. Or like, because we're all really busy. We kind of have one day a week that's like GAUCI day. We have it in our calendars. Like,
they recently just switched days as well. So
yeah, that was a big deal. Switch from Mondays to Wednesdays.
Oh, Monday's GAUCI day.
Yeah,
well,
Monday. It's always
No,
good.
thanks.
We always had a long weekend because
Yeah.
Monday was always GAUCI day.
Dude, having something on Monday to look forward to is so important for mental health, I reckon. Like,
definitely.
I play trivia here on a Monday night, and it just makes Monday that much easier knowing that.
Yeah.
Like, there's that thing. So GAUCI day, but why did you change days?
scheduling conflicts.
What's the new day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday's good as well.
Yeah, midweek.
Hump day.
Schedule day.
Hump day. We don't know if it'll be good, I guess.
Yeah,
we gotta figure it out. Maybe
it was meant to start. Well, actually, it's meant to start next week, but
so maybe creative juices will either be flowing or blocked up. We gotta see what a Wednesday's like.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but not to get deep about this, I feel like my motivation levels through the week are so cyclical, but I can almost track them. Like, they're so similar in terms of like Thursdays are just like hell day for me. But then when Friday, like getting to bed on a Thursday night, it's like Friday's coming because I do the podcast on Friday. That's something to look forward to. It's not work. And then Saturday, Sunday, friends, and then Monday trivia, and then just like this constant.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday again.
Yeah, it's just back getting slayed. But yeah, I think that's super interesting.
Yeah,
I think for me, it's more that if I know people are going to be around that I enjoy being around with, then that's when I'm most excited. But then if I know I got to work by myself, I'm like, I'm going to procrastinate until Yeah.
The 11th hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like schedules lately have been kind of thrown out. Like weekends don't matter as much because there's not as much to do. For me, at least, it's like shows are starting to happen again, so that kind of has it. But I feel like weekends and weekdays at the moment don't have much of a disparity.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. It's blending a bit into one.
Yeah.
But Mondays I always did quite like Mondays are great days for because it's the beginning of the week and you think you're gonna have to do something you don't want to, but then being able to just be in the studio on a Monday is fresh.
Yeah.
It's fresh.
Yeah.
I've been using fresh so much recently as well. I don't know why. It's just a word and a half.
Oh, literally.
Fresh.
I think my vocabulary is just fresh and vibes.
Oh, vibes is that's like up here.
Yeah.
It's when you get to vibes, you've reached the pinnacle of
the holy grail of words.
I'm sure if you
holy grail of feelings is the vibes.
You know how you can search on Facebook? We've got a group chat with our manager, and you can search a word, and it tells you how many times you've used it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to search vibes because I reckon it's just gonna come up several hundred times.
My big word right now is epic.
Oh yeah, that's pretty epic.
Yeah, see,
it's catching on.
It's so awesome to say. It's so awesome to say, and I guarantee, you guys will be at lunch today, and someone say, "These chips are epic," and it'll be game over.
I'm quite a fan of the not many people use it, awesome sauce.
Okay.
Every now and again.
Can we redact that?
Yeah, make sure you bleep that.
I said no hard swearing. Where's the respect for the platform? So how'd you get your name? I'm joking. I got you.
We've been asked that question
really
several times. Yeah.
See, look, I put it in
100 times.
if you look at my notes, I put it in the uppercase, lowercase, and then I put how'd you meet as well.
Me and Felix met here actually.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't remember that.
I do, because it was my birthday, but it was not specifically my birthday is when I met, but we were at the pub, and I knew you through a friend, and I was like, hi. And then
Still don't remember that.
I think it's but that was 5 years ago or something.
Jeez.
I've known Antonio for a long time too.
Straight out the womb.
People say
Straight out
it.
the womb.
Who's the elder sibling?
Antonio.
Do you think that in your creative process that the elder sibling over the shoulder sort of, how there are those classic tropes of how an elder sibling will react or a younger sibling will react, or
Say something nice here, David.
do you think
I
that
think Antonio is the guide on my path. She guides me, but no, it's fine. I don't think we've.
There's
a lot
definitely
better,
an older sister dynamic, even towards me.
It's more like the mother.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The soccer
Especially
mom
on,
who
like,
drives
on
everyone.
tour.
You're also engineer
mum.
too, so if
Yeah.
we're fucking around in the studio too
Yeah.
much, it's
Yeah.
it's your time, it's your studio.
Yeah,
So
it's like-
while it's older sister, it's also
There would be a lot of us watching YouTube videos, and Antonio's just can you guys turn off? I've actually tried to do work for us here, and you guys are just laughing in the corner, and we're sorry.
It's called research.
We're doing market research.
yeah.
There was a time when we were doing vocal demos and I was standing in the booth and David's sitting on the couch. He's either asleep or scrolling on the internet, and I'm directing Felix how to use the computer as well. Very funny.
There was that one day when I came back from Europe, and I came straight into the studio, and I was I can't go to sleep. I'm not going to go to sleep. And then turned into this video made us on the couch, and it's just very much a common
To be fair
common
though,
thing. It
everyone
was jet
falls
lag
asleep on
on that couch, and
yeah.
I was just been on something.
What's with studio couches just being goat tier? They hit so differently.
I don't know.
It's true.
This one is actually not even that comfortable. It's just the
It's okay.
it's a bit, small.
It's quiet. It's
Yeah.
always well air conditioned. This one's really low into the
Yeah,
ground.
you just
something
sink into it, and you're oh.
But I know what you mean. Studio couches, they hit different.
Yeah.
Simon's one in the studio upstairs that Antonio's. That
Yeah,
one's really
that's good.
comfortable.
Mm.
Found myself nodding off to that. I also feel it's because when you're not needed in a studio, you're really not needed, but you're still gonna sit in the studio and be I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
I
So
often find myself being on my phone and then being oh, actually, Maybe I should try and pay attention. I'm trying to pay attention. I'm like, start nodding off.
And that's the GAUCI workflow, guys.
Yeah. I mean, if we didn't spend 12 to 15 hours of David being asleep, then we haven't done something right. Yeah.
And Antonio just writes the songs. Alright, let's actually get into it.
Yeah.
You guys make some pretty sick music, and I feel when I listen to GAUCI, I just identify it so much with just like Sydney for some reason, and I think because it pulls on sort of like the soulful, the poppy elements of like that sort of in between band world, but also like Sydney's underground dance scene, especially like if you go to like a certain venue or party and it's just like disco, Italo disco, it all sort of molds in. So just wondering like where does that, and especially because you guys have your own solo projects and, you know, own musical endeavors solo, where do you think that core GAUCI sound like evolved from or came from?
We've like, I feel like we thought that we've struggled to figure out where we do fit in the Sydney music scene. In the way that you were saying, it's like we all come from a band history, but we still want to explore that like poppy kind of dance music scene, and it has been like a little bit of a teetering, like not being entirely sure where we sit, and I think that's maybe where the sound comes from. Like we're not entirely in that dance world, like the songs are still structured in quite like, you know, pop structures and also kind of like band structures, and like we still play live, and I think that's one of the things that differentiates us a little bit, and maybe that's what makes us Sydney. Like we're still kind of a group who play live together. I think, you know, like we're not kind of using decks or anything, like we're actually programming live when we play. So I feel like that maybe is one of those reasons that we do fit in between those two. I think this EP is where we kind of found our sound finally.
Yeah.
I think the few singles we've been releasing have been a bit more of an exploration, and it's been like couple of years? How long? 4 or 5. Yeah. Well, I guess we've been like playing for 5 and
together,
and releasing for 4. But I think over the years what we like has changed, and I definitely have become less involved with like band music and much more into electronic and like the idea of producing. I remember when we started this band, like Antonio took me to Studio 301. I'd never been in like a proper studio, and I was just like whoa, like this place is the nuts. Desk is like
it's so quiet.
Yeah, literally the desk like as big as wide as this room, and I was like, you mean we actually get to like put stuff through this? So I think that kind of development, and like you definitely introduced me into like more electronic music, and like you guys definitely always had a love for pop music, and I think that rubbed off on me quite a bit, and I guess it's that kind of amalgamation of all of, as you said, like our solo projects, and it is 3 people writing music together from different aspects of the kind of Sydney scene. And then like also like our friends that we play with, or like when we wrote that song with Moz and stuff, like we were all kind of like, I think, learning from each other, and everyone was listening to like similar things through the years, and then that kind of informed the music that we were making.
Big time.
Yeah.
I feel like even just reflecting on that, I don't know if it's rude to define, like, sorry, let me start again. I feel like, and don't get me wrong saying this, GAUCI's more like of a super group energy rather than like a band energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So instead of it being like we're just band, we just, you know, we've been making music together forever, like our tastes are just one, we just make one sort of block monolith of like, this is just us. It's more just like, oh, you guys can do your own things, and when you come together for GAUCI, it's like this special solo project, where like it is almost itself like its own solo project rather than it being a band. I don't know if you sort of see what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But I feel like, how do you guys define yourselves as a band, or do you see it as something a bit different as a band, just coming in from your own sort of lanes?
I think like we've been tossing around the idea that we're more producers now, because like we've tried to challenge the way that we have like created and produced tracks. So it's like it's definitely moved into this more electronic pop kind of thing, which is it's way more like programming than band or like live instrumentation, but we still have that in there because it's like it's where we've come from as well. We're not about to just like let that go.
Yeah. I feel like we were getting pigeonholed too.
Yeah.
Like the concept of a band is very like it's so easy to be pigeonholed. Like people, if you're a band, expect you to kind of release music in a certain way. Like album formats are kind of a thing. Huge emphasis on playing live. Like, and I think we were getting pushed into that. We were kind of playing with like bands that our music was just so different. You know, we would be on a lineup with like 4 bands and no one else would be, or one person would be playing a synthesizer and the rest would be like live drums and guitars and bass and like indie pop and stuff. And I think we kind of got to a point where we were like, we don't sound like any of this stuff. And really, we are a band in the sense of we're a group of people playing music, but like you said, it's more like, well, like Antonia said, like 3 producers or like 3 songwriters who make music in the studio not really thinking about how we're going to play it, you know? We sample a lot. We make beats that like no one's going to be able to play live in a sense. So it's, we're producing, we're 3, and as you said, it's like we're 3 of us writing music rather than
just one person.
Yeah, like a band, like a group in a sense.
Super group it is.
Yeah, super group.
Epic. See?
Awesome sauce.
I find it super interesting when, and maybe I overthink it from a fan perspective, when people release self-titled stuff. I just think there's just something about when there's a self-titled EP, especially being a debut EP or a self-titled album, whatever. Was it a very conscious decision to make this like the GAUCI self-titled because of what you'd already spoken about, it being like this sort of finding of a sound, or do you think it's just like just a common thing to do and it just like felt right?
I think we also really struggled with trying to think of something to name it. Like I think it was like jokingly everyone was like, all right, well David, you can name the EP, and I was like, oh no, like this is awful. But I think in the end, I don't think it's, I always struggle to kind of think of things like that, and I think that this is a really like
we even
well deserved.
We even struggle
title.
like picking the names for the singles as well.
Yeah.
Like we comb through all the words and like what we've like the intention behind it or whatever. But you know, it's always up until the 11th hour again, where we're like, this needs to go up into like
this needs
the
to be
thing.
this needs to be uploaded
What's
to
it
the
called?
streaming. What are we gonna call it?
Yeah.
So I think it was. I was like, I think I remember one day I was like, guys, I have this crazy idea. What if we call the EP Self-Titled? And Felix was like, I think it's been done before. And I was like, all right, so GAUCI it is. The state
It's
of
a
GAUCI.
radical idea. How about we just... There you go. So I did overthink it.
Yeah.
I agree. I do like a self-titled like first release.
Yeah.
I think that idea appealed to us too. You know, like the boom, like GAUCI.
Yeah.
Saying it twice too.
We also did the boss move of no like words on the cover art.
Yeah,
as well.
huge.
Yeah. And I feel like with the self-titled you can do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like self-titles, and like obviously it's your name, but GAUCI typographically, it's so perfect. Like the C and the I at the end.
We took the move to capitalize it,
Yeah,
like on
big time.
Spotify and everything
Yeah.
recently, because it just looks so much better.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so... Like you didn't have to name your project, hey?
Well,
as we said, we hate coming up with names, so...
Definitely. And obviously 2020 is a bit etched where you can't perform the music live, or you can perform the music live, but probably not to the same extent, same decibels as you might initially have planned for. But how do you think the EP is going to be consumed? Not just because you can't listen to it live, but I don't know if you guys had changed your listening patterns recently or changed how you listen to music because of COVID and all that. Do you feel like the EP is going to be consumed a bit differently to what you expected, just given the context?
I feel like, because I was surprised with how much more of a reception like the full length EP kind of received.
Yeah.
Like doing singles, and I guess like sometimes it's hard to think about the way you listen to music when you release your own music. Like it's hard, you forget to put yourself in like a listener's ears. But I love a full length, like love an album, and like singles are cool and I enjoy listening to them. And if they're really, really good, I'll like put them in playlists and like they'll be in high rotation. But then when you get like an album, it's so much more like there's so much more incentive to listen to the whole thing from start to finish.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So I think people have been doing that. Obviously streaming is just what absolutely everyone does these days.
Yes.
And I think maybe because people have more time at the moment, or they're at home more, working from home, get to listen to music. Like people, or at least what people have told me, they've really like they enjoy listening to the whole thing start to finish. You know, like people have more time to give an entire like EP a listen rather than just like flicking through a couple songs.
Yeah.
Big time.
People are less busy. I find that at the moment, like I'm less busy, so I get to listening to old albums I always used to listen to.
I do that a lot too.
Just heaps more time to listen to music.
Yeah.
Which is amazing.
Big time. I feel like I've normally, if a good single comes out, I'm like, listen to it a couple times, put it away, wait for the album.
Yeah.
But now, because I feel like I've had so much time, a good single come out, rinsing it.
Yeah.
Just rinsing it. And when the album comes out, I'm like, oh, jeez, like.
It's like, I just want to get to the single.
I find I'm not going out to listen to music either. Like you don't get to go like see people
bands,
DJ on
Yeah.
stuff. So you're not like, so if you get like a banger of a single, like you're at home on Saturday night, you got like nothing to do, you're drinking a beer, you just like
pop that one on repeat for 3 hours.
I find I've got like playlists of really good singles at the moment because I can't go see DJs, so you kind of have to like make your own like hype up playlist for a Saturday night at
It's
home.
hard to see what's popping off in the streets.
That's true.
As the kids say.
Yeah, exactly.
When can't believe I did
Awesome song.
But no,
Awesome
it's
sauce
like
too.
that, especially in the DJ world, and you guys come from electronic sort of that sphere as well, so we can talk about this. And like, when you go out to like certain clubs and like you hear certain DJs play on a Friday, Saturday night, and you sort of like get a gauge of like, even though it's like deep underground stuff, it's like everyone, it's like all of the music cultures end up merging in the same way where people just rinse the same songs.
Yeah.
So I wonder what would be getting rinsed now if it wasn't for...
Our EP.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And like I'm shocking with track names, but I reckon the opener, track 1, which is also the first single, I think.
Yeah, Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Is that
No.
Oh no, to save a moment.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I was like trying
I'm
to think. I was
shocking
like,
with track
I'm not
names.
sure.
1. I reckon you could easily play that at like Frida's in a DJ night, because those breaks at the end are so luscious.
Maybe we got to do a remix. Get the dance floor, the 12-inch
Do
version.
We'd have to.
Someone hit us up.
Yeah.
Or we remix our own track.
Yeah.
I reckon that's a vibe. Doing
Yeah,
your
that's
own.
huge. Reworks.
Sophie did her album and like remixed the whole thing and like broke up the tracks. It's really sick.
Alright, so Wednesday.
What do all the EDM producers call that? Oh yeah, the VIP mix.
yeah.
The GAUCI VIP mix. Let's go.
Does you have aren't you wearing a chain that says VIP on it?
Yeah.
It's the VIP mix.
Yeah.
We
That's
prepared
good.
that one out.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I've been listening to? And if you haven't, there's this group from Sydney. They released this like soul record, Belly Dance.
I've never heard
And Efficient Space repressed it, and it's like selling like hotcakes. It's cooked. It's called 3 Days, man. The 3 a.m. mix, and I'm telling you, you'll put that on, it'll change your life. If the clubs are open now, that shit would be the biggest thing in the world. In Sydney's tight little underground.
That is one thing I'm missing, like hearing music that other people have like selected.
Yeah.
And I guess there's like live streams and stuff, but you're always like paying less attention, or like it
It's
doesn't
not
like hit
loud
as
enough,
hard. Yeah, not loud enough. I am missing like hearing songs that other people pick.
We threw a little live stream with Room 2 Radio.
Oh yeah.
that there's people that went viral, but then they've fully decked it out now. It's crazy at 107. And everyone just had their decibel meters out like louder. We needed to be over 95, like get it to 95. We had it over 95 for like 5 minutes, and everyone was like, dude, this is too much. Like, I don't miss this. I don't miss my ears burning at all. But we got there.
We're all probably going to collectively come out of this period with really good hearing. Like no more tinnitus or tinnitus. How do you say it?
Oh, we don't.
Tinnitus,
Let's not open that can of worms.
Yeah.
I've had many an arguments about. It depends how many beers I've had. It's tinnitus after 2 beers, but before that's tinnitus.
Yeah.
It makes me smarter. They say never go into business with family. Yeah. I feel like creative fields do get a bit of a pass though, especially just the way, the brain's trust sort of works. And not to get too sentimental or emotional, but what is so special about writing music and like sort of being very personal and open on records with a sibling, and a sibling being a part of that creative process for you two?
I guess we've really never it's never been weird between us to be like,
Yeah.
which is good. I guess, Antonia has always helped me with my music because I'm like a little bit younger than her, so she was always like, by the time I was an adult, she was already 5 years into being an adult. Like, sorry to throw you on the bus. I won't tell anyone how old I am. But yeah, she was just always super supportive and like never kind of like made a big deal out of anything that I was doing in like a negative way. So I guess it was never an issue for us to be open with our creative ideas. Like, it was always like a really nice, welcoming space, and like to bring Felix into that as well has been obviously so great. And like Felix has awesome ideas all the time, and like it's really, I think it's super nice. And it's I guess we have like fought a lot over the years, but that's just us being siblings. But we always come back at the end of the day, and it's always really good, and there's no like animosity, which I think is good.
I think like another thing is that when you listen to the lyrics as well, they're never really about stuff, so it kind of doesn't ever get weird like trying to talk about any like proper feelings, because there's never really feelings about like, and if it were to be about that, it's like it's still a safe space to let people into what's happening. Like, it's
I guess we end up writing like pretty ambiguous. Ambiguity is pretty like, I feel like it's a bit easier to write, because I then would get stuck thinking about the specifics of situations and not wanting to like give away too much, or like so we kind of have done a nice job of keeping it very ambiguous.
And I think from a listener's perspective as well, like the music's it's not like plastic. There's still like a level of depth to it through its ambiguity. And from a listener's point of view, I think that it makes the music so much easier to get attached to. And like obviously there is, and like I listen to hip hop, which is just like mainly, I listen to hip hop. Like, my main taste sort of surrounds hip hop, so it's like very narrative based, like sort of, very non-fiction sort of narratives and tales and stories. But then also when you want to listen to something and just like turn it off for a bit, or you just want to vibe out and zone out, but still feel something, that ambiguity is super nice to reflect on, instead of it being like, well, here's this specific situation. It's like, I can't relate to that.
I think, it's ambiguous, but still super relatable for people.
I guess we all have our own projects where that's where we write our intimate lyrics for, it's like, for the solo thing is about individual experiences, whereas when we come together, it's idea-based or collaborative, and it's more of a feeling and a mood. So people can kind of, I always think people can put their own meaning into it, rather than us kind of bash them over the heads with what it's about. And I think, writing together, which I've never done before, writing lyrics together. Initially, it made me kind of uncomfortable writing lyrics with other people, but now, now it's you feel weird like writing lyrics. Like I remember the first couple times we did it, it was like everyone had like a pen and paper, and you'd be so you'd be so embarrassed to say anything. And like, I don't know if you've ever done this, but reading out lyrics
You're so whack.
makes you sound like you sound like an idiot.
Yeah.
So we'd be there and
Everyone's shying away from each other.
you'd be like, yeah, so I think I've got something. And you'd play the music usually we have the song kind of written. We always do lyrics last. So you'd play the song really loud and you'd be like,
You know what that reminds you of? It's like when you're in a tube and
yeah.
the tube is like, it's like the first question, the easiest question ever. It's like, what color is this? And everyone's sort of just like looking at each other like, do you know the answer? Like, someone answer. Like, I don't want to answer.
That's exactly it, yeah. And no one's, like, you know logically that no one's going to be like, that shit.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be like, that sucks. But you're just still so, like, worried about it. But we're way better at it now. Like,
we're at to the point where we have a collaborative iNote.
Yeah.
On the iPhone.
Oh,
Everyone
huge.
comes up in different colours.
That's so sick.
Yeah, that's really good, actually.
That is,
Shout out Steve Jobs.
I'm more of a Google Drive guy.
Oh,
Google Docs are, I reckon, are supreme over the notes.
Yeah.
I think.
But, like...
I think we're also text message based. That
Huge.
Yeah.
But, like, we hardly ever check the email, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
You guys are just Apple
yeah.
simps.
Apple Spano, please.
Apple Sim.
I'm addicted to my phone. Proudly.
How's, and like this is just a random personal question, you know how they give you the screen time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Has yours improved or worsened?
it's so bad.
Mine's improved. Was really bad. I was spending like 9 hours a day.
Like you're getting
9 hours.
improved, like you're doing more hours.
Yeah, I'm logging more hours on my phone. They say, no, I've done maybe like 5-6 hours a day a week.
Dude, I'm going crazy right now.
What are you-
Now a day. Nah, I'm. If I had a computer one screen time, game over. That's serious.
24
trouble
hours a
territory.
day.
But
I watch a lot of Netflix on my phone.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's basically like TV size now. So,
Okay.
well, the iPhones are huge.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it is
they're
another?
fucking-
Oh, Jolts.
Big TV.
Yeah, it's a TV.
Get the sponsorship. Where's the brand sponsorship?
Mine keeps on telling me I've gone down 10% every week. Like, you know how it tells you
Yeah.
views? But it never changes. So, like, I don't really know what's going on here.
Sometimes it's like, oh, your screen time is up 45% this week. And I'm like, oh.
It's been a hard week.
It's been a long week.
It's been a rough week.
But wouldn't... See, this is the thing. From like a marketing point of view, you want your users to be on their phone as much as they can.
Exactly.
So reminding them how much they're addicted to their phones, I don't know how that's helping.
I don't know if it ever changes my behavior, though. I just look at it and I'm like...
It comes up once a week and you're like,
and then just close it and keep on looking at my phone.
I'm pretty sure it comes up on a Sunday evening as well.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the scan hours.
Yeah,
Just like-
literally when you're just like, oh...
Not like the 60 minutes clock is ticking. Like that's when you know.
And it's like, yeah, if while you're on the phone as well, you're like, just keep going.
Oh, you guys make some cool music, eh?
And you make a great
We hope so.
podcast.
This is the best thing. When you'll never do interview this rogue ever again. And this isn't even that rogue. We've been pretty serious.
That's what I like. You know, no rules.
Exactly. If,
Like my podcast, no rules.
this is my podcast now. This is Steve Jobs' podcast, actually. Recording on GarageBand, iPhone.
He's still alive.
He's living inside that laptop.
Hey, he lives in equity, mate.
He will never die.
That's
As
generation.
long as I'm still here.
That's capitalism, baby. But yeah, jokes aside, the EP is fantastic. Massive fan. And obviously, like, the GAUCI sort of project was just leaking singles for a while. And having the self-titled EP for a consumer like me, I'll just like, now I can properly like buy into this and champion this and probably almost be a part of this. So I think it's fantastic. Like November, what a song. And I think the best thing about the EP that, and not to take away anything from the older work, but there's like a grandiosity about it. There's something like, it's like scaled up. It's like, welcome, like this is just like this massive sort of world. So yeah, congrats on the EP.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When writing it, and I always find this super interesting, did it just fall out and it's like, oh shit, we've got an EP? Or was it just like, hey guys, I think we're ready for an EP, let's write an EP?
I think we've been writing for so long and we had so many songs and then we kind of were like, oh, maybe we could do an EP. And then that was maybe like 2.5 years ago. And then we spent the next 2.5 years kind of cycling through songs that we thought would be on the EP. And basically the only ones that stayed was actually probably only Paradise.
Yeah, Paradise.
Everything else is
like versions of old
Yeah.
songs, kind of 2 demos combined,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
a synth line from something that we have like a lot of like, you know, almost in the way that like people make beats. There's like a lot of just beats in a sense, like, or ideas, or even just like 8-bar loops, and probably hundreds and hundreds of those on our computers collectively. And then it was kind of about, we're pretty disorganized.
Yeah, filing. Antonia's really good at filing on her computer, but me and Felix are awful.
Yeah, so
You've gotten better.
yeah, I started to put
I've
dates
never
on my beats.
I've
'cause
never
it-
backed up my hard drive ever.
That's
It's
so
just
that
really
makes me
bad.
so
I have 2
anxious.
hard drives as well. I just never back. Anyway, I got to do that.
That makes me so anxious.
Don't do that now.
It's just like, that's one of those things where it's just like, after you do it, it's just like, oh shit, why did I not do it? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
flossing.
Yeah,
It's like, why did I just not
Yeah.
start doing this sooner?
that's true.
It's
Unless
like,
you guys actually
you know how
take
there's
care
that
of
little
it.
like niggling bit of anxiety in the back of your
Yeah.
brain as soon as you
Constantly.
back up your hard drives, it's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, but we had all of that stuff, and then I think it was just about like picking. There were moments where there was like 3 other songs that were meant to go on this EP, and then I think we just wrote better songs, so we kind of
Yeah.
picked those.
Well, yeah, that's kind of basically what happened. It was like where we intended 2.5 years ago to put something out, but we just got better at what we were doing. So we're like, well, no. So it kind of just like one moved to the back of the line while other ones progressed forward, and then
Yeah.
it kind of just like ended up being that these ones worked really well together. We had for a while there like missing the last final song to tie it in, but like
Yeah,
that one kind of just fell out of
because
us.
I guess November is the newest song on the EP. We
did
wrote that
like, 2 months ago or something.
2 months before I guess it was finished.
Yeah.
It was started writing one probably like June or July or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the last song.
Yeah.
But it felt like it kind of like, that felt like the song that tied
Tied
like
everything together.
Paradise and like To Save a
Heartbeat,
Moment
yeah.
to like Anxious and like Heartbeat, you know? It kind of, it still had that like little bit of that like indie pop sensibility with like the guitar and stuff, but still had like 808s, you know? So which kind of tied it to like Heartbeat.
Big time.
Mm.
Call me a fake fan, I don't like the new stuff.
Same.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. That's what we want to hear.
You like
So good, man. I
Gauci,
know like a
name-
new podcast.
Yeah, you like Gauci, name all their songs. Yeah, and I think it's, and sort of just reflecting back again, just hopping all over the place. Like you've got the Gauci Day designated 1 day a week. You're all sort of like chipping away at your own stuff as well. Does the chipping away at your own stuff and then coming into this like new sort of group environment make it heaps easier to write for Gauci, do you think? When you sort of just like your mind sort of boggled in other places and then you come together, it's like, oh, Gauci. Does it sort of just keep the creative juices flowing? Like just your brain being sort of distracted when you're not?
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean, for
Yeah.
me, like, I do music as a day job as well, so like I'm constantly doing things for other people and like learning things from them, and it's just like, hey guys, like look at this thing I learned, how can we put that into what we're doing? And it's like not only just me, like from Felix and David as well, so totally.
Epic.
It's a good way of getting like rid of writer's block for either
Yeah.
side. Like I find if I can't do something for like, if I'm writing something for someone else and I hit a wall or I just can't write music, then if we do something really good on like when we're all together, I find I can go back to what I was trying to do and it's just so much clearer.
Yeah.
Or like, someone will like, Antonio will show me a plugin or like a synth, or like David will do something on a guitar, and then I'm like, oh, actually, that would be sick on this other
Yeah.
thing I'm doing, you know? It's like, I feel like when you're writing music, like we all fall into patterns.
Yeah.
You do the same thing. It's like, and having someone else do something else, it makes you think, oh, I could do that like in all these other ways. Like that's an idea I would never come up with myself.
Yeah.
But now I know how to do that. So I'm going to steal exactly what they did. You know what I mean?
Publishing on this other
Yeah,
song,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. It's like,
I'm feeding my kids.
literally, just steal your friend's ideas.
Beautiful. And shit, we're already going for 45 minutes. So
Oh, damn.
I'll ask our last serious question. and then we'll
Do some
talk
funny ones.
We'll talk some smack.
Do a silly one.
We'll play some silly games.
Oh, I love games.
GAUCI project, obviously, you've been around for a while, but I feel like the march, the strut, has now sort of begun. And obviously sonically it has evolved, but it hasn't like even done like a Tyler the Creator, sort of just flipping everything on its head. How do you think the outlook has changed for GAUCI, both sonically, but also, you know, personally, and how you feel about the project since its inception?
Sonically, I think we all just want to write pop music. Like, it's what we're all obsessed with at the moment. Dua Lipa, Selena Gomez, Kim Petras, Sophie, Charlie XCX, like all of that stuff is just like, I think that's what we're being informed by for this project at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's just probably going to get more like that, because that stuff is so much fun to listen to. And I think, in a way, like, we'll obviously still sound like us. Like, I don't think, no matter how hard we try, we'll still, you know, have like, I think there's always a bit of romanticism in our songs. Like, the synths are always like, you know, a bit more like washy.
There's always some kind of soundscape element.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that'll probably happen, but I don't know. We're all I'm pretty like schizophrenic with my music taste, so maybe it'll like change. In 6 months. But I think also we got recently our friend Maya kind of came in to manage us, and
Shout outs.
Oh,
yeah,
she's literally the best. But I think she sat us down and was like, do you want to take this seriously? Like,
yeah,
you know, we always enjoyed it, and it was just kind of like, we did it because it was fun. But she kind of sat us down and was like, do you want to do this? Like, do you still want to be doing this in 5 years? If so, like, you got to, like, let's take this seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that helped us push the EP out heaps.
Yeah.
And I think we're already planning the next one, you know, because of that. And sometimes I think it takes a fourth person, particularly with, like, bands. You're not, like, a solo person. So you're, like, kind of negotiating 3 people's lives.
Yeah.
So I think having that fourth person kind of made us put our, like, serious caps on.
Yeah.
So before that, it was no management, completely independent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeez. So yeah, having that extra opinion and bringing a manager into a project like that, where you, like, all sort of somewhat experienced in the music industry, like, choosing a manager is such an important task. But because you've got that previous experience, sort of just like understanding, bringing a friend in like that is so special.
We didn't even plan it, I don't think. Like, we weren't looking for a manager or anything.
Yeah.
No.
Just Maya's been, like, Antonia's friend for a while, and she kind of suggested it.
And it just seemed like the perfect
Yeah. And she's been, I think, you want to have a friend and a manager. They need to be, like, the fourth person in your band. And you need to be able to say anything to them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you need to be like, no, I hate that idea. Like, you know, like we would to each other.
Yeah. She also understands everything from a fan perspective as well, because she's like our biggest fan. It's always like, get your badge on Facebook. Or
the top fan badge.
Or like
that's
the first comment on everything.
Yeah, always.
It's
huge. Obviously that's like a wholesome conversation. It's great we had it, but the best thing about us having this conversation is when I send this interview to her, I can see if she's actually been listening. Don't tell her we've given her a shout out, and then if she's listening, she'll say thanks so much.
Yeah. I reckon exactly an hour after you send the emails, she'll probably reply and be like
48 minutes in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, thank you. Yeah, just don't tell her that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been sick, and I think that's kind of made us have like a good trajectory.
Big time.
Yeah. She's encouraging. She's also got a great music taste.
like impeccable music taste.
Like wall-to-wall like records. Her and her boyfriend are just like massive music nerds.
Yeah.
So that also really helps. She's like a good
selector as well.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, one of the hardest things I think is choosing a single for like you have these songs and you don't actually know what they sound like because you've listened to them like 500 times. Because like we mix all of our own music. We do everything except for master it. So by the time we're done with it,
You're done with it.
well, we would have
Yeah,
listened
literally.
like thousands of
Thousands of
times, you know?
Yeah.
So having someone else to be like, that song, you know, straight up as a single, that helps so much.
Big time.
Yeah.
Love it. Also, yeah, I forgot to bring this up, but this is one of my favorite GAUCI yarns ever I've ever had with a friend, and I have plenty of GAUCI yarns. I just showed him like music and stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to pin it down to, but it sounds just sort of sounds like if Purple Sneakers made a band. That's what it did sound like. And I was like, dude, that is the biggest compliment I could ever give anyone. Yeah, because one of the first songs I ever reviewed on Purple Sneakers was a GAUCI song.
Ah.
Oh, really?
Which
The
one?
name
All comes full circle.
Blinds with the name.
He said you're horrible.
I'm a fake fan, okay? I don't like the new stuff. Oh no, I'll find it.
Is it a
Just
bad
because-
review?
No, it was glowing.
There
Five
was
out of
new
five?
stuff then, so
Yeah, I just copy pasted. I copy pasted probably Maya's press release.
Journalism 101.
No. All right, let's get into it. Small talk time.
Oh, sweet.
Obviously, siblings.
Yes.
What was the one thing either of you did growing up, just like proper pest, or just like something that just gave you the shits?
Go on, I'm sure you've got plenty
David would
about
just
me.
cry at the drop of a
Oh,
come on.
Not on a podcast.
Sorry. But that was really annoying. You're a very sensitive boy.
Oh, I was a whinger as well. Don't worry.
Antonia, from about the age, how old were you? 14 onwards, absolutely just like refused to give me a bar of like anything. We just like wouldn't until I turned 18. It was just like she would just tell me to get out, like go away all the time. I was really annoying though, you know. I just like wanted to hang out with my sister and all her friends.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think I was just like an emo teenager. As
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
Adolescence.
yeah.
Real big into My Chemical Romance, AFI.
And it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm still going through that. My childhood phase. Another very highly contested Parry Talks question I ask everyone that always ruffles feathers. What's the GOAT takeaway? So we'll do two categories.
Yeah.
One mainstream, so like your KFC versus Macca's versus Porto versus Agalo. And then one...
Galo.
No, Agalo is
Mainstream?
mainstream now.
Okay.
And then another section for like independent takeaways. It's like your Clems,
Yeah.
Frangos,
Mm.
all those good things.
Okay.
I'm a KFC man through and through.
Yeah, 100%.
But depends if you eat
Yeah,
meat
yeah.
though, because KFC has no non-meat options.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless
the
you get like
chippies.
chips and
Yeah.
potato
Well,
gravy. Chicken sauce.
I don't eat gluten, so I can't eat
Oh.
majority of these things anymore. But McDonald's was like always after a
I
show
love
we
McDonald's,
go
but
and
yeah.
eat McDonald's or
KFC
like,
is
on
truly
the
the
way
best.
back.
I
from
haven't-
Felix,
I
you've
haven't
only
eaten
ever
KFC
eaten
until I
KFC
was,
like
like,
a handful of times.
18. That was the first
So it
time.
was for like you were older than that, maybe like in your 20s.
Yeah, I'd never eaten KFC.
I love KFC.
I think you've got to eat it as a kid to like rate it
Really?
later. It's good, but
Oh, dude, it's
it's
the
a bit
best.
soggy. It's always a bit
That's
soggy.
the best.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You
I
can feel
like
it's soggy in
it's-
your stomach. That's when you
I
know.
feel like to like the sog, you have to have nostalgia, you know?
Yeah, maybe. That's fine. That's fine.
Independent. We run VN Street Foods quite a bit
Yeah.
in Marrickville because that's where the studio is. And I
Huge.
live there. It's cheap and yummy.
There's this place called Double Tap on Smith Street in Marrickville
Double
where
Tap.
we go and get sandwiches from all the time as well. Like
Yeah,
that's the
that's it.
spot.
But actually, on the corner of Antonia and our street is it's called Al's Fried Chicken. They do
Yeah.
a zinger burger.
Ooh.
Named the zinger burger. Sorry, I don't want to get them in trouble.
We're
Yeah,
done.
we bleep this all out.
KFC
But
full
it's
listen to
so good.
It's pretty.
It's
good.
insane.
And I was like, guys, our sponsor is KFC. All these buckets of
Oh, so that's why you like KFC so much.
You open the door and the Colonel's out there.
Do you understand the things I would do to have a KFC sponsor? I will get a zinger after this now.
Yeah.
For morning tea.
Morning
Time
tea.
creeps
For
up.
brunch.
And then the last sort of this is like the worst question I've asked. So,
That's
like,
fine.
You're gonna hate me for this, unless some people like this question, some people don't. It's like a neck and nominate. You got to call someone out, or be more serious. You got to like who deserves their story told on this platform. Who do you think would be a great interview? Who should I have on next?
Gosh.
Clarissa Mai.
Clarissa May, yeah.
May, sorry. I said
Oh.
it wrong. Clarissa May.
I've
Cancel.
that's gone through my head
cancelled.
so many times. Yeah. Whether how to pronounce it.
I don't know.
Solo episodes, all of you.
Some episodes.
Yeah, each of
Yeah,
us individually.
where we dish the shit on each
Yeah.
other. GAUCI reveals all.
The break, the tell-all.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a current affair interview.
Yeah, that's it. Once we break up, we'll do individual interviews, and we'll tell you why.
You've just manifested that now. It's game over.
Oh no.
No, you gotta make it like, you gotta say it so then you don't manifest it.
Yeah.
If you,
Anti-manifest.
I feel like if you can't joke about it,
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
happen.
yeah, it'll happen.
Is that the saying? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think that's it now. I think that's the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Felix just
Can't joke about it. It's.
I love it. You're just deflecting the question I asked.
Who?
So you answered.
I answered.
No, we
If
need
we
3
could.
answers. We need 3 answers.
Oh.
Clarissa's definitely on the targets list. She's in an Excel sheet,
That's good.
waiting to be targeted.
Man, really threw me under the bus with this question. I
Who's
can't
some
think of
good-
anyone.
Who are some good DJs?
Good
I need some
DJs.
DJ representation.
Should put Maya on here.
Huge.
maybe,
The
yeah.
call out.
Maya and Dan.
Maya and Dan need to be for the recorded on Parry Talks.
Harry talks for the record.
Yeah.
Barry talks
It's called
about the
cross
record.
pollination.
We've had a couple industry personnel on, but they're not as fun as the artists.
I would have said Moz, but you've
That's
already.
why they work in the industry.
True. We could just have Moz on again.
I'm
And
sure he'd
again,
love that.
I could have a weekly podcast with Moz. That'd be fucking
You
hilarious.
just could. You should be able to rename it to Parry Talks to Moz.
Moz talks, yeah, just Moz
Moz
talks.
talks.
You know
Harry
what? You know the
listens.
best thing about him is he'll be listening to this because he'll know.
Oh,
he'll get a
yeah,
shout out.
100%.
He's just been waiting for it. Just sitting at home with a cup of tea. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gotta return. He gave me a shout out in his one, so I gotta return the shout out.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about Sydney Base?
Oh yeah,
Sydney
that'd be
Base would
cool.
be good.
Hassett and
Michael Hassett and
Mitch Tolman. Endless.
Yeah, it'd be
See
very
the
cool.
brains in this group is.
Antonio?
Yes. Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call that there.
See why it ruffles people's feathers.
Parry Talks. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thanks so
Thanks
much
for
for having
having
us.
Thank you.
Always welcome back as well. Next release, whatever.
Thank
Pull
you.
up. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're listening this far, you guys have a show at Frida's.
Yeah, 13th.
13th of
13th of
November.
November.
Friday the 13th.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Be
No
there
costumes allowed.
Two
Yeah,
shows?
if you dress up.
2 shows. Yeah.
early in the late.
Yeah,
Yeah.
early in the
Early
morning.
and a mid.
A mid.
Like, yeah.
Well, it's like a
Hey.
10:30.
Yeah, yeah.
It's late for COVID.
It's late for me.
But yeah, I have yet to buy tickets, but I will buy tickets. But if you see me at the show and you quote this interview,
Mm.
I'll buy you a beer. That's the rule.
Sweet.
Damn.
Thanks so much for listening. Take care. Stay safe.
You too.
Wear a mask.
Woo!